What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another KeyForge Age of Ascension, a Vault Tour game from Origins Game Fair 2019. On the left we have Ben, on the right we have Philip. If you'd like to see both players' decks, pause the video now, go check out the description below on YouTube. You can click the Master Vault links there and see what cards each player has in their sealed deck that they chose to play. We see American start off there, playing the top card of Philip's deck, grabbing a Mac the Knife. And on the other side, Philip's dropping in a Merrick the Marked and a Barrister Joya, and followed by a Sir Marrow. Sir Marrow saying he'll capture any amber after the opponent reaps, but the opponent can't reap because Barrister Joya is on the table. And the Merrick the Marked will capture if he prevents damage with his armor. We have seen Ben play before. Not sure if Philip's been on the channel yet, but if you want to see some of the previous KeyForge matches we recorded at Origins Game Fair, plus other various tournaments, go check them out. They're all in playlists at Rob's Gaming Table on YouTube. You can see lots of commentated KeyForge tournament games there, plus also some deck unboxing videos now that I'm posting, so you can check those out too. So Gonguzo coming in, getting an amber for Ben, dealing 3 damage to Sir Marrow's. Of course, only 1 getting through since he has 2 armor. That's going to allow Ben to discard a card from Philip's hand, and he gets a Martyr's End, it looks like there. And Merrick the Mark going to fight in for 3 damage, just dealing the rest needed to take out Sir Marrow's. And an Onyx Knight coming back in, wiping the rest of Philip's board there, since they are odd-powered creatures. And a Yerk coming down. He's going to force a discard from Ben's hand, his choice on what card he discards. And he discards a copy of the Flex. And we have a Mighty Tiger coming in out of Untamed, dealing 4 damage to the Onyx Knight, destroying him. And throwing a Way of the Porcupine onto the Mighty Tiger, which will give it Hazardous 3. And I believe there's an amber also on the Way of the Porcupine, which is why Philip now has an amber. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel out a lot. If you want to help the KeyForge love spread, hit that like button. And we have a Sucker Punch coming in as an alpha off Ben. He's going to just play it to the discard since it's not destroying a creature, just dealing 2 damage to the Mighty Tiger. He is forced to do that on enemy creatures, so he can't just do it to his own Mirkins just to get Sucker Punch to the archives. And we get Lethal Distraction for an amber. It adds additional damage when the creature gets hit by 2, I believe. But since Sucker Punch was an alpha there, Ben was forced to play it in a different order. But he's now up to 5 amber. And we got a Sanctum turn again here from Philip. He's going Shield of Justice for an amber. No creature will take... None of his friendly creatures can take damage for the remainder of the turn. And that matters here because we see a Grey Rider dropping into play, allowing him to fight with a neighboring creature, which he does to finish off Yerk there. So I will have the other top 4 game up on the channel shortly that I also recorded, so I'll do some commentary on that. And then also the best of 3 finals will come up shortly after that. And I also do plan on going to Gen Con, so say hi if you see me there. But I will be there with my cameras trying to record some of the Vault Tour, both Vault Tours, the Sealed and the Archon. Hopefully get some footage for you guys from there. So if you'd like to help support the trip to Gen Con, you can do so by heading on over to patreon.com/Rob's Gaming Table. The link is in the description below. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. Without you guys, I wouldn't be going to these tournaments and getting this footage. So we see Anguish on the board, a Tesmol, a Bloodshard Imp, and a Lash of Broken Dreams. So some good amber control, some turn control, some reaping control now on the board for Ben. We see the quality of his creatures and artifacts there being part of the reason why he is sitting here in the top 4. He definitely got a good deck, picked a good deck, and he's played it well. And now his creatures can sacrifice any creature that reaps. Tesmal will allow him to choose a house his opponent cannot choose, I guess, next turn after he reaps. Anguish will increase the key cost by 1 for each damage that's on Anguish there on the right flank. And we all know Lash of Broken Dreams, increasing key cost itself also by 3 for your opponent. Philip assessing the board here, looking at his hand. He's got a rules question. Looks like he's trying to decide how a card interacts with the Mighty Tiger. We do have judges sitting by the table. Or at least a judge sitting by the table.
Definitely Sanctum.
Sounds like he's going Sanctum here. Winner of this match will be headed to the finals. So it makes sense why Philip's taking his time here, trying to make sure he chooses the right house, does it in the proper order, plays all his cards correctly. Destroys the creatures across the table that need to be destroyed, if he's going to do any of that.
Maybe I got it. Maybe I got it. I think the play is fight Tesmal.
So he's going to fight into Tesmal here with the Grey Rider, it sounds like, who is elusive. It's going to cause Mighty Tiger to fight into Anguish. And that kills the Mighty Tiger, deals 4 to Anguish, increasing Philip's key cost. He's going to use Smite to ready and fight into Tesmal, and that'll deal 2 damage to the neighbors. So that gets rid of all the disc creatures off the board. That's why he's taking his time trying to figure out if it was even possible and how to do it. He probably was asking if he could use Smite on the Mighty Tiger, which obviously he could. But he chose to do it in a different order there, which destroyed the Mighty Tiger first. So it's board. Yeah, it sounds like the judge is just questioning the Tesmal having elusive, but he did fight into him twice.
I couldn't reap any of those.
And you just heard Philip say there he couldn't reaps because you'd have to sacrifice it due to the Bloodshard Imp. So to do that combo, he had to do all fighting. And he used Ben's elusive on Tesmal against him to get that done. But it did clear Philip's board also. But it did get rid of all the disc creatures across the board. And we see it's Ben's turn now. Furtive Investors gaining an amber. And he'll take it. I'm not sure what else he got.
Special? Yep. Angie, Redlock.
I think Ben played more than one card there. I just didn't hear or see what he played to jump up to 8 amber there, but hopefully you guys caught it there. On the other side, we see Gamgee, Merkins, Gamgee, Redlock, and Too Much to Protect. We see a special delivery out there, gaining an amber. That can deal 3 damage to a flank creature if it destroys and purge them. Gamgee will reap, and if the opponent has more amber, he can steal 1. Redlock will allow the opponent at the end of turn to gain an amber if they haven't played any characters or creatures. Alright, Ben's forged his first key. Had 2 amber stolen from him off of the Too Much to Protect since he was 2 over 6, but Philip didn't have an additional way to steal 1 more to get him off a key. Now Philip's sitting at 5 amber. 1 off of check. So Ben's going Brobner here, drops down a Champion's Challenge, destroys all the creatures except the strongest creature. And then they fight, but he's going to do a double 1-2 punch, gaining a couple of amber, stunning Redlock, and then destroying Redlock with the second 1-2 punch. Coward Zenny's just discarding. And then we drop a Bingle Bang Bang into play, who will deal 5 damage to each neighbor of the creature Bingle Bang Bang fights before the fight. That's his effect. Other than that, he's just a 2-powered creature. So we got a Shadows play here. Looks like a Bullet Eye, followed by a Lamindra on the right flank, giving Bullet Eye extra elusive. So Lights Out played there for an amber, returning up to 2 enemy creatures to their owner's hand. Puts Bingle Bang Bang back into Ben's hand. So Philip is in check with 6 amber. Ben choosing Shadows. He's going to go Nerve Blast here. Take an amber, deal 2 damage to Bullet Eye. Then a Ronnie Risk Lock, stealing 1 more amber. And that's going to be it for Ben's turn. Just getting them back to even amber here, 4 apiece. Although Ben is up 1 key. And it sounds like Philip's going Shadows here. And he plays an artifact. I think that's a Hideaway Hole. Yes, it is. That's Omni Sacrifice Hideaway Hole. Creatures you control gain elusive until your next turn. Gets an amber for playing that. Assuming you reap there off Lamindra. He's now looking at his opponent's discard pile. And he drops down a Gamgee. Now he debates here using the special delivery, I'm sure. Can purge that Ronnie Risk Locks, which I'm sure is not a bad thing. Your opponent has Dis. They may have Exhume. I think that might have been a good play. But he's going to leave it. Wants to hold it for a juicier target. We have another Gongoozle here. Ben does have 2 of those in his deck. Destroying Gamgee. And then a Call of the Week, getting rid of Lamindra. And Lash of Broken Dreams, increasing the key cost by 3 for Philip, causing him not to forge there with the 6 he has. And Ben is now in check with 6 himself for his second key. So Ben in pretty good control of the game so far. But as we've seen before, KeyForge can be pretty swingy. So Philip basically behind by a full key. So Philip dropping in a Obeyed the Grim, capturing 3. And then beside him is a Chally the Safeguard, who has Deploy and Taunt. It's a 4/2 creature. Help protect Obeyed the Grim there. That will keep Ben off a key, of course, since he captured 3 amber. He chooses still not to use the special delivery, which is an Omni. Could purge that Ronnie Risk Locks. And we got a Tremor here, stunning both the Sanctum creatures on the board. And a Bingle Bang Bang making a reappearance there. On the left flank, we got a little Rapskull, on the right flank. Another Bingle Bang Bang and a Foozle dropped into play. Little Rapskull, basically forcing creatures to fight if able. So some reap-hate there. We got a first KeyForge here by Philip. Ben choosing to go Brobnar and unload all the creatures on the board there instead of going Disc and trying to increase the key cost. Maybe he's not sitting on many Disc creatures in hand. Chose to play more cards, which is not bad for the first key. You can't try to block the key forever, right? Eventually start falling behind yourself. Is usually how it goes, in my experience. So Philip going with an Untamed turn here. Throws down Persistence Hunting. He's going to name Brobnar, of course. His opponent's going to have to exhaust all Brobnar creatures. Then Fog Bank, saying creatures can't fight next turn on Ben's side. And then a Nepenthe Seed drop down in the artifact row there for Philip. So now Ben checking through Philip's discard here. Maybe he realizes Philip's deck is getting very low, so there's a chance that things will cycle around once Philip's done drawing through his deck. So now's a good time to look through the deck, kind of get a lay of the land. Maybe he's trying to understand what kind of houses are coming up in Philip's draw and which one has he seen the most cards from. I don't see the usual suspects like Mimicry there. We got the third 1-2 punch in Ben's deck being played here, gaining an Amber. And since the two creatures were stunned across the board, works great with Tremor. He's able to destroy them right away there. And send the Obey the Grim to the discard pile and throws down a Flamethrower. And that Flamethrower artifact at a Brobnar. Deal 1 damage to a creature with 1 splash is an action, not an Omni. And Ben is again in check for his second key with 6. Looks like Ben may have forgotten to take an Amber there from 1-2 punch. He's asking the judge if he can take it, and the judge is saying how long ago was it. Since both players say it was just the last action, basically, they're okay. He's going to take it.
It is what it is. Bingle bing bings. All them bangles. Okay, I am gonna go Untamed.
So Philip dropping another Untamed turn here. He's starting off with a Glimmer. Alpha card, of course. Has to do it first. Allow him to return any card from his discard pile to his hand. So some additional recursion here in his deck on top of the Nepenthe Seed. And he grabs a Too Much to Protect. It's an interesting call.
Persistence hunting on Brobnar.
So he's going to do another Persistence Hunting, hitting Brobnar, of course, exhausting all 4 Brobnar creatures on Ben's side. So he's got Too Much to Protect in hand. He's unable to play it, of course, because it's a Shadows card, and he's on an Untamed turn here. And he throws down a Duskwish to end the turn. So no way to stop Ben from forging, which I thought he might have done there. I don't know of 1 in Untamed to do there, but Ben does forge the second key with 1 Amber remaining. Now Ben has to try to deal with that Dusk Witch, or else Philip's cards are going to come in and play ready. And right now, Ben only has Ronnie Wrist Clocks on the board. He could use the Flamethrower and easily take it out, but he has to name Brobnar to go that route, and all his Brobnar creatures are exhausted. Ronnie Wrist Clocks can fight in, but the Dusk Witch is elusive, so you need an additional way to fight. And we know Ben does have some direct damage in his deck, so maybe that's the way to go. We know he's played both Gongoozles already, so that's not going to happen. He's played his Nerve Blast already. Trying to look at his list here and see if there's anything you can do just to get rid of Dusk Witch out of play other than the Flamethrower we see there. We know he's got rid of his Coward's End, so that's not an option. Champion's Challenge is also gone. Cull the Weak, also gone. We've seen him play that already. Oh, he's shoveling his creatures to the left here. He's going to slap down something on the right flank. And an Ember Imp, the Legacy Ember Imp that Ben has in his deck. And we got an Exhume here. Gaining an Amber. Grab any creature from his discard pile. Play it from hand like it's of the active house. And the Onyx Knight is going to come in and deal with the Dusk Witch, dealing all odd-powered creatures. Or, sorry, destroying all odd-powered creatures. Basically keeping Ben's board almost fully intact except for Foozle. And destroying the Dusk Witch on the other side.
As the active player, do you care at all about how these cards are entered into the discard?
And it sounds like the judge is just saying, active player and Ben, choose which way the cards go into the discard pile. So between Glimmer and the Dusk Witch, does he care? This discard pile order does here matter in Age of Ascension with the cards that were introduced in the set. So you do have to make sure they go in there in the order you'd like if you're the active player. And Ben doing some next level plays there. With his Exhume into the Onyx Knight. Able to play a bunch of cards out of hand. Keep his game moving forward and deal with the threats across the board. And he now officially has gotten through his deck before Philip. So he's now going to be able to draw into some cards he's played already and start getting some of those effects he needs. Getting extra value out of them. So right now with that Ember Imp on the board, Philip's only allowed to play 2 cards in a turn unless he deals with that Ember Imp. So we got a Sanctum turn here, taking the stun off Chalet to Safeguard and exhausting him. Looks like Philip's debating on using the Nepenthe Seed there, so he's rifling through his discard pile, trying to find out if there's a target that he wants to grab right now. Probably at a Sanctum. I assume grabbing Barrister Joya is probably not a bad call. Try to prevent your opponent from reaping. Slow him down a little bit there, so he'll have to fight into Barrister Joya or get back into some of those damage effects or destroy effects to get Barrister Joya off the table. So looks like he might be choosing Obey the Grim there. He's reading that card. We're debating it. I think he needs to grab Barrister Joy to buy him some time. Throw up beside Chalet the Safeguard who has Taunt. If you guys have any ideas what you would grab here in this situation, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I always like to hear what people point out in the video. Usually proving me wrong or saying I'm crazy and what I decide. Which totally makes sense and totally understandable. He's grabbing a Smite. Let's see what he's got here and how he's going to use it. I'm very curious. So he's got a smite. He's going to ready Chally the Safeguard. And that's going to allow him to fight into Bingo Bang Bang, doing some next level plays here, destroying both of his neighbors, getting rid of that Ember Imp. So now that 2-card restriction is turned off. And we got a Martyr's End, which I have to look at what exactly that card does here. Destroy any number of friendly creatures. Gain 1 Amber for each creature destroyed this way. Which he does there, I guess.
And I will special delivery that.
And we got a special delivery on the Ronnie wrist clocks that could have done that too a long time ago, but he's going to do it here. And that does purge him. And now he thinks he missed an Amber there on his play.
I was at 3.
And the creature special delivery killed his first, correct?
So I'm pretty sure I'm missing an amber. I grabbed my 1 from
Looks like Philip thinks he missed an Amber.
stack. You have 1? Oh, you get 1 from Mars and 1 for sacking him? Okay. Yep. Okay, fine.
Yeah, it looks like he forgot a Martyr's End. He gets 1 for sacking the creature and 1 for playing Martyr's End. So he puts him up to 5.
That's it for me.
Still 1 off check, though. Over to Ben, who now has only Bingo Bang Bang on the board out of his creatures. But Philip back down to an empty board.
I'm going to
So lethal distraction again, getting an Amber. Not doing anything else there. So Ben's obviously cycled around on that card. And a life for a life, sacking Bingo Bang Bang. Just doing it for the Amber, basically. No creatures across the board to deal 6 damage to. Miasma, just playing it for the Amber. Forcing Philip to skip the KeyForge step, but again, he's not in check. Hideaway Stash, putting Ben in check. He's able to archive a card, and then plays the final card, Redlock.
What's the card under? Oh, hidden stash. Yeah. I was like, what? Okay, so you got 6.
And Ben being able to drop to 6 new fresh cards there. So he's in check. Final key. Can Philip stop Ben here? He needs to put himself into check, get that second key forged as soon as possible. And keep Ben off of a key for however many turns it takes to get to his 3rd key. But is he able to do that here? Can he even make it go 1 more round? Let's see.
Shadows.
And he names Shadows. It's the house that usually will do it. Redlock into play. Ronnie wrist clock stealing 1. That will keep him off of a key. Does put Philip into check. Plays Hideaway Hole, or pops Hideaway Hole to give each of his creatures elusive till the end of the next turn. Or till the end of, yeah, until the end of Ben's turn, I guess, really. And now it's over to Ben. Philip in check for his 2nd key with 6. Obviously, the Lash of Broken Dreams could prevent that. Does Ben have any more Amber control in hand? Does he even care? He really should just prioritize himself getting to that 3rd key again. Just try to keep himself going to check every single turn. He's pulled the card from his archives. He's debating on playing it. Or targeting it. Looks like an Oubliette, I think? Yeah, an Oubliette. Purges the Redlock across the board. We got Ronnie wrist clocks getting Philip off a key. Putting Ben into check with 6.
Okay.
Philip's got to prevent him again. Does he have any cards to do so? It sounds like he doesn't. That might be it. And Ben may be going on to the finals here. Yeah, he's just dropping the cards he would have played. None of them stop Ben. And that's going to be it. Thanks to both players for playing on camera. Congrats to Ben. Moving on to the finals. Like I said, we'll have the other top 4 game coming up on the channel, so make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss that video. And then we'll have the best of 3 finals coming up after that. Lots of KeyForge on the channel. Check them out in the playlist there. Lots more coming. Like I said, we got deck unboxings hitting the channel too, so check those out. And leave any constructive criticism in the comments below. And thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.